Lil Mabu has become one of the most interesting people in hip hop, but not for a good reason, for playing in the face of the entire internet. See, Mabu took notes from the whole 2018 IG antics wave, or we can say he took some inspo from 6ix9ine. Over the past few years of his career, this man really been building it up brick by brick off antics, off making himself look crazy online, off lying about who he is as a person. And I say all of this because Mabu popped into the rap space, rapping all this drill talk, hard body rapping, like he really liked that, but he himself didn't come from that life. And the internet knows that he came from a family full of funds. See, before Mabu blew up, he was just living his regular life. I mean, the man grew up in a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom condo with his parents. But not only did the man grow up there, he also went to a private school, 60 racks a year. And you know, him being a rapper and coming from a life full of money, that's not the problem. There's plenty of rappers that you listen to that you probably don't even know came from a background full of money. So that itself wasn't the problem. The problem was how he portrayed himself, what he got on these beats and rapped about, how he was acting like he was toting guns in the streets. That's the problem. That's what made hip hop not have no respect for the man. See, drill rap is kind of known as a dangerous genre in music. So much of it is based around street talk, killing talk. And I mean, this influence this specific type of rap was having on the world was getting so bad that at one point New York's mayor was trying to get it banned from social media. He felt like it was promoting too much violence. Rolling Stone wrote this. In remarks to members of the press Friday, Adams, New York's mayor, expressed concerns about drill rap, the musical subgenre that flourished in his home of Brooklyn over the past half-decade. He characterized this music as alarming, linking it to gun violence, and appeared to further blame it on social media companies. We pulled Trump off Twitter, yet we are allowing music displaying the guns and violence. We're allowing that to stay on these sites. See, even though Mabu was making his drill music and moving how he was, where did his money actually come from? Because like I said, if you're growing up in a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, you gotta have some type of money coming in, especially if you're in New York. You know how much living there costs? Well, his dad had money. His dad was this businessman that people looked at. But there was a dark side to him. There's a dark side to everybody, but there was a real dark side to Lil Mabu's dad. See, Mabu's family is known as the DeLucas, and that's Mabu's last name. That's his dad's last name. And I'm telling you this so when I read you this article, you ain't confused. Peter DeLuca is Mabu's dad. In this article from 2006, read this. Jane DeLuca says she discovered the husband she had relied on and trusted through 10 years of hell betrayed her, conspiring with a pair of disgraced Brooklyn judges to cheat her out of millions of dollars. In a bombshell lawsuit filed in the Manhattan Supreme Court, the pain-ravaged woman says her ex-husband, Peter DeLuca, who operates a funeral home, worked with the then judge and now convicted Victor Barron. Under indictment, suspended Judge Michael Garson and others to fix their divorce case, hiding Peter's assets and costing her millions of dollars. Mrs. DeLuca's lawyer, Dominic, said his client couldn't comment because she's speaking to certain government agencies, both state and federal. He declined to elaborate. The couple was divorced in 1998, but DeLuca's suit says she didn't learn she had been cheated out of some money until 2003, when her ex's dad told her about the alleged collusion. And so pretty much what happened was Jane ended up in this freak accident, right? She was in her townhouse and it collapsed. She was on the top floor with her baby, and she fell all the way down to the bottom. And for hours and hours, she wasn't able to be saved. She had to sit and endure the pain with her child who passed away in her arms. And it gets worse. She ended up dying, but the hospital revived her. The article wrote this. Jane herself was declared dead at arrival at the hospital, but medics were able to resuscitate her. Both of her lungs punctured, her ribs crushed, her spleen ruptured, her right leg connected to her body only by skin. She spent 60 days in the hospital and had to undergo 13 surgeries and 103 blood infusions, the suit says. And this is where the situation really gets dark. After she went through everything that she went through, it said her husband, Peter, Lil Mabu's dad, allegedly ran off with this money. She eventually received about $4 million for the settlement for losses and the building collapse and injuries and all of that. She got $4 million, but was quote unquote completely unaware that her husband was manipulating their finances in a scheme to divorce her and leave her in physical, emotional, and financial ruin. He sued her for divorce in '96, said she was bullied into a settlement in 1998 that left her with the house and $1 million, with her husband holding on to the rest of the approximately $10 million estate. And it seemed like he ran off with a bag in this situation. I mean, this is crazy. That was something that maybe he tried to bury and it didn't work, or we don't really know. We don't know a lot about that situation. We just know what I read to you. But back to Mabu and all of his antics. So drill music being such a dangerous space, it'd be weird to see this rich white kid taking part in it, speaking how crazy it was. And that was the point. Mabu knew how crazy it looked, and he knew that people was gonna be side-eyeing him, and he knew that it was gonna go viral, and he took full advantage of it. But the thing is, marketing and growing anything on social media wasn't new to him. He planned this out. And I say this because he used to run a marketing business back when he was younger. See, around 2020, back before he was really this big rapper, before he blew up, he was making connections with this marketing company. He was growing. In one article wrote this on the situation. Lil Mabu launched a promotional company in late 2020, providing him with the connections and capital he needed to grow his career. With millions of views and cosigns from artists such as Tory Lanez, Lil Mosey, P&B Rock, and more, it was only a matter of time before it kind of paid off on him. And this marketing thing wasn't really an act, I don't think, because there's proof of him reaching out to content creators and rappers from back in the day. One day in 2020, he ended up reaching out to Patrick CC, the YouTuber. And in 2023, Pat did a video on Mabu and showed some of these old DMs from him when Mabu was trying to reach out to him. And in these messages, guess what he was doing? Promoting his marketing company, trying to make a connection with him and Patrick CC. The messages from Mabu to Pat said this: I own a marketing company and I'm 15. I'll be down to work with you, and I was wondering if I could explain my services and what I can provide. Feel free to contact me and we could chop it up on the phone as well. That wasn't all Mabu said. He also said, I work with artists like Lil Keed, 42 Dugg, Lil Blurry, and other celebrity clients. My team runs group chats with hundreds of thousands of people, email lists, and page promotions. With the reach of millions through a complex network, our team is able to grow platforms such as Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube in order to grow your fan base and reach more people and drastically increase your royalties. So back then, he was really trying to get people to work with him. He was really trying to build these connections. He was really trying to build something. And I mean, he was taking full advantage of this opportunity. And what I mean by that is, like I said, he spent all of this time learning the social media game. So when it was time for him to apply the social media game to himself, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly how to move the pieces on the board to make niggas want to pay attention to him, to make niggas want to look at him, even if it's with hate, he was still getting that publicity. He took advantage of TikTok and short form content. And he had people really out here believing some of the stunts that he was pulling. For example, not too long ago, he made this TikTok where he made it seem like his gun went off and he shot himself in the leg or something like that. And when this happened, people was eating it up because they like, this white boy got a gun and it just went off on him. And so they like, okay, that's kind of crazy. And it went viral everywhere. There was so many people believing that this was real, that there were articles being written on the situation. Now, I don't know if these articles were paid off or what, but this was definitely a moment where he controlled the internet and he used virality to his advantage. This is a prime example of what I mean when I say he took a lot of steps from 6ix9ine. Remember all the antics 6ix9ine was pulling? He would get online and lie, and people would eat it up. People would believe it. That time he went to O Block, and he was calling the whole O Block soft. He was like, oh, I'm in Chicago, I'm at O Block, y'all soft. Whole time he did go to O Block, but he went to O Block at 5 a.m. And so, back to Mabu, we had him blowing up off social media, going viral every day, going viral all the time, and it was only a matter of time before that industry plant label would get through on him. When someone pops up in the music space like Mabu, they're gonna get caught in industry plant. I mean, it makes sense. But how true is this label? Over the past few years, we really done seen a overuse and misuse of the word industry plant. Anytime somebody blow up in the music space, I don't know what's up with niggas, but they immediately like to call him an industry plant. People was calling Yeet an industry plant like he didn't have years and years of building up to get to the point where he is right now. So people get called an industry plant a lot, even when it doesn't apply to them. For example, Doechii, she just won this Grammy and people was calling her a plant because she wasn't this humongous artist and she won a Grammy. People was like, oh, she this brand new artist. She signed to TDE. Oh, Kendrick, industry plant. Like, Nah, nigga. She had years and years of music behind her. She has a big catalog and a backlog of big songs and albums. So when she blew up, she blew up. She had the time put in. She understood the craft. She put something together that ended up making her win a Grammy. And now niggas is calling her an industry plant because they didn't know who she was before the situation. Even though that's not necessarily how you use the word, but y'all get what I'm saying. And the plant allegations were so strong, she had something to say about it at one point. When people aren't familiar with the history of an artist these days, they get suspicious. I'm pretty detached emotionally from it, and because I understand where it's coming from. And to be honest, once you get any conspiracies around your career, that's just confirmation that it's going somewhere and I'm doing something right. And so all of this industry plant talk was being put out, and Mabu was a part of the conversation. And a part of his reputation was, oh, Mabu is this little white kid who is an industry plant. And this combo around his name was getting so strong, just like Doechii, Mabu would come out giving his response to the situation. He was like, how could I be an industry plant when I'm not even getting the industry plant push?
First reaction to being called an industry plant, I think I just laughed, because it's like, planted by who? You know, my parents have no involvement in the music industry. They didn't even know half the shit I was doing. I understand that whole industry plant thing was an attempt to discredit me. If y'all actually use your brain, if I'm an industry plant, why am I not on Spotify editorial playlists? Why am I not on Rap Caviar? Everything that's label run, Mabu doesn't see the light of day. I'm more blackballed than I am planted. Listen, man, I'll take it as a compliment. I appreciate it.
Now, what do I think? Do I think Lil Mabu is an industry plant? I don't know. And I say this because, yeah, he might have came from money, and yeah, he might have blew up quick, but here's the thing. He played that social media game. See, whenever somebody goes viral, every time they do something online, it's not luck. And this coming from a nigga that makes YouTube videos. If I come out here and I pick a bad idea and I make a video that people don't care about, the video's gonna do bad. That's not me being unlucky. That's me putting out some bullshit. So if we have Mabu understanding the social media game and put enough thought into what he's doing to go viral every time he puts something out, he's always going viral on TikTok or online or starting a conversation around his name when he wants to. That's not lucky. That's not him being an industry plant. That's him knowing how to run the social media game. You got to think about it. This is a man that spent years trying to understand the social media game. Remember what I said? Mabu had a marketing business. He was trying to understand how to blow up a rapper. And so when it came time for him to apply that knowledge to his own rap career, he would, and he did it right. And so he started to grow. And it would get to a point where he would use controversy to his advantage. And the hip hop community ate it up, growing him into the artist he is now. But there's another side to the industry plan. He claims that he's independent. Mabu's claiming that he's independent, but I'm not 100% sure about that because there's talks that he signed with the distribution deal with Empire, but he also goes under his own label that he claims is independent called Young Genius Academy. And this is what his music is published under on Apple Music. And this became a whole part of his branding. When he started showing off this Young Genius Academy shit, you would always see it. He'd always be showing off this label, or he'd have some merch with the abbreviations or the name of the label. And he was basically trying everything he could to get that name out there. And on the IG account for this label, he would make a video basically explaining himself and how his career was affecting his life, and how even though that he was this big rapper and he had some of this clout and he had some money, he had the label, he was still going to school. Now, this is Mabu. So how serious is he when he says that he's still in college? We don't know, because it all could just be a part of his image. Everything he does, mostly everything he does, is a lie, but he is claiming that he's still going to school even though he has this rap career.
In life, you need to decide what you're willing to trade for what. And, you know, over the summer, I've gotten some crazy offers and deals I could have entered into, but I told them, guess what? I'm going to college. And they looked at me like I was crazy. They like, Mabu, like, do you understand? Like, you're not a regular kid. You need to devote all your time to your career. You need to take the music seriously. Bro, I was like, watch this. So here I am in my dorm room. Not that much space. And I don't think anybody's done this before. Like, college student turned mainstream rapper. But if any artist and their fan base could do it, it's us.
Now I searched around the internet to see if he had anyone else signed to his label, but it's kind of hard finding any info on his label because there's not much to look through online. But that don't mean he's not trying to make money over the lifetime of this label. Like I said, he's been promoting it nonstop, merch heavy. Every post he's showing some type of clothing that got something to do with Young Genius Academy. Not too long ago, he did an Icebox interview and he came in there with a hat from his band and kind of spoke on how he been taking it serious and how he was out the country moving with these factories trying to build up this brand.
What are you doing in Pakistan, bro? What kind of factory you got?
Textile.
Nice, man.
Yeah. I've been getting rich off shit. It got nothing to do with beats.
Oh?
Yeah. Production side. I'll use it for my own stuff too, bro.
Okay. You said okay? Yeah, out the website, right?
Yeah.
But even though Mabu had been claiming to just be in his bag as of late over this past year or so, he has been in a little bit of controversy. Lil Mabu versus Tommy G, a YouTuber. We had Tommy G claiming that Mabu scammed him out of $11,000. So Tommy G is this YouTuber. His vids do pretty good. And he had this video where he was in New York. And Mabu ended up DMing the man and was like, yo, if you want to use my song in your video, I'll hit my label up and I'll whitelist. He was basically wanting some promo, or in other words, he gave Tommy G permission to use the song in the video. He said his label was going to clear it. And Tommy G was like, all right, cool, I'll do it. He comes out, dropped this video, but it doesn't go right. He drops it, it's doing fine. The next day, the video gets claimed, meaning he wasn't making no money on his video for that whole day. Every piece of change that came out that video went straight to Mabu label. And so even though Mabu was like, I'm gonna get the song cleared for you, it ended up not getting cleared. And Tommy G video was pulling in so many views at the time, he ended up losing $11,000 in that little 24-hour period. So he sees it, he hits up Mabu, start freaking out because he done lost all this money. He hits Mabu up and says this, Mabu, just a heads up, at the moment, it's still your song that's getting claimed. Does RT have a piece of the song? The song he used was a song with Mabu and Lil RT. He says, I'm put your song in on good faith, so I'm looking for your help in getting this resolved. I'm an independent that works my ass off, so there's no way a label is going to get $8,000 to $10,000 today for a 15-second song and a 30-minute video. Please keep me posted. Mabu responds, basically saying that he sent it over to his people. But this kind of goes back to what I was saying, how we don't know if he's 100% independent or not. He says that he had to hit up Empire, the label, and he messaged them saying this. Okay, so creators claiming publishing rights over the Lil RT part. Jimmy reached out and told them we whitelisted it at the direction of Mabu and that we need them to drop their claim ASAP, but we're waiting to hear back from them at the moment. And so Tommy was texting Mabu back to back, and he wasn't getting no response. He hit Mabu up, he was like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Like, give me some updates. No response. And so Tommy was like, all right, Mabu not doing nothing. I got to take this into my own hands. He goes on YouTube, and if you don't know, you are allowed to cut out certain parts of your videos through the YouTube creator software, right? So he goes through YouTube, he cuts out this part of his video. Now he's making money again. No more Mabu song in the vid, but just because he's making money again doesn't mean all of that money that he lost when he wasn't able to get no money came back. So this nigga was out $11,000 and he now wanted it back because Mabu lied to the man. Mabu hit him up first and was like, yo, can you use my song? Then the song get claimed after Mabu tried to give him permission. And after he ended up cutting it out the video, he hits Mabu up and says this, I just cut it from the video. I'm not confident that CMG will act on it quickly, and I did the math. It's already cost me $11,000. And this is a bad situation because Tommy probably thought that he was just helping out a upcoming rapper, helping out this dude who gave him permission to use his song. He was like, you know what, I'll give him some promo. He let me use the song, I'll use it for him. And then all of this came from him just wanting to look out, for him just wanting to use his song. Mabu manager ends up responding to that message he sent because it was a group chat with him, Mabu, and Mabu's manager. Mabu's manager said Empire said it's out of their hands and they sent an email to them to resolve the matter. But he said if any action needs to be taken, it needs to go towards CMG. He said they already have cases that they're dealing with on a similar matter. I asked them to send me an email contact, so I'm waiting on that. And so it wasn't looking like Tommy was getting his money back. It looked like he was trying to be nice to Mabu, and it kind of went left. It went the whole opposite direction. And so Tommy's still mad. Nigga just lost 11,000. So he texts Mabu again and says this: I put your song in the video in good faith because you're assured that it will be cleared. 11 grand might not be a lot of money to you, but it's a lot of money to me. When I raised this concern with you, you delegated me to your manager and did not even find it important enough to respond to me. Is this how you do business? But this situation really could have been avoided. I'm not gonna lie, this should have been a no-go from the start. And I'm not blaming Tommy for being in this situation or nothing like that. I'm just saying this kind of shouldn't happen. I mean, why even work with a dude whose entire career is based off telling constant lies and manipulating the internet? His whole branding is portraying this street nigga when he know he not like that. So when he lied to you about the label whitelisting it and all of that, I'm not gonna lie, it really isn't a surprise. But Tommy ended up hitting him up, like I said. Remember the messages I read earlier? He's like, is this how you conduct business? Like, this really what we own? And Mabu responded back, I almost got kicked out of school this week, and no, my team has been trying to figure out a solution for this. Plan on touching bases with you after the weekend, and 11K is money to me also. And so Tommy responds and he like, I hear you, like, that's serious and I understand life gets busy, but I just wanted to make sure this issue had your attention. Let's touch base this week. And this was on April 21st. No response. On April 25th, 4 days later, Tommy G messages Mabu again and says, Mabu, I know you have good intentions and the situation was an accident, but how about this? We meet in the middle and call it a day. We'll build Empire/you for marketing. And no response. A couple days later, he hits him up again. Tommy G says, this will be my final text to you about this. The ball is in your court to take action in the way you see fitting to your ethics. And so for a while, like, people was mad at Lil Mabu, and they were really bombing his videos. If you go look at some of Mabu old videos from around last year, around the time this happened, about May, it's a lot of comments saying, yo, give Tommy G his money back, give Tommy G his money back, give Tommy G his money back. And for a while, the situation was up in the air. No money was getting paid. Tommy felt like he got scammed, and a lot of people was on Tommy's side. People was bombing Mabu videos, basically saying, bro, pay Tommy up. Like, Tommy gave you this free promo and you just took all this money. People was mad at Mabu. And we wouldn't hear nothing until a little bit later when Tommy would get online posting this video, basically clearing the air, saying that Mabu donated to this foundation he was supporting the 11,000. Actually, he sent 12,000.
Update on the Lil Mabu situation. Yesterday, I received a donation for $12,000 from Lil Mabu, which means he paid and some, which I think says a lot about his character. And I think we can walk away feeling like this is in the past, everything was handled, and I feel good about this situation. All the people that commented to help get this resolved, I appreciate you guys. I have some of the most loyal people on the internet, and I'm very appreciative of you guys having my back and helping justice be restored in this situation. But the hunt's over, call off the dogs, let's be kind. He handled the situation like a gentleman, and I have nothing bad to say about the guy. Because the situation is resolved, I took my Instagram post, I took my YouTube video down. There's no more that needs to be said. Just to clear up a couple things, Mabu did not pocket the money himself. He did a song with Little Retweet. Little Retweet's label took all the money. So Mabu has to collect from CMG now. CMG, Create Music Group, actually everyone, go tell them you owe Mabu money. He's the one now getting robbed. But speak to something bigger in YouTube copyright policy. You can make a video that's 30 minutes long. If you use 6 seconds of a song that's copyrighted, every penny of your video will go to some stupid ass label that had nothing to do with the video. I was really impressed with a lot that I learned from him. I saw his setup in his studio where he's recording big songs with big artists out of his dorm room under a bunk bed. I think he is one of those rare characters out there in rap. I do wish him well on his journey. I'm glad that we handled it this way. The money's all going to kids, so I think it's a win for everybody. My last message is to CMG. I'm privy to information that there's actually lawsuits going on against you guys because of how many people you've screwed taking people's money that doesn't belong to you. Rest assured, if you ever want me to work with a CMG artist, you guys are getting taxed heavily. That's all, I'm out.
So over his career, Mabu been in and out of controversy. And this man done had a lot of problems with the internet, but lately he done slowed down. He really took a step away from music. Now what exactly is he working on? We don't know 100%, but it might have something to do with the label that he sparked up, Young Genius Academy. What he's trying to turn that into is another question, but we gonna have to see with time. All I can say now is that he's depleting fans by the day. And I mean, his last single was back in December. We are in March now. And Mabu is really a weird character. And I don't think he has time to take a break. He doesn't really have a real fan base. He's an antic rapper. He thrives off having his names in headline. It's not about, oh, is the music that good? We got to listen to him. It's about what thing can he do now that's crazy enough to get people to pay attention to him? What can he say, or how can he portray himself to get people to care about him? So the longer he takes this break, the longer people realize, damn, I really don't care about Lil Mabu. It was just an antic. Like I said, he is a white 6ix9ine. Instead of acting how 6ix9ine was acting, dissing every rapper known to man, Mabu be in the streets. Mabu be acting like he with the gang shit, acting like he moving how he moving. What are y'all thoughts on Mabu? Do y'all appreciate his music, or do y'all have a lack of respect for the man? Let me know in the comments.